Hi, Alice. Freeze cracked. Hey, rainy day. Humid. Um, I'm always trying to think of stuff different to cover that I haven't covered before. So I was like, well, materials and types. You know, I work a lot of cobbles. I've shown you all that a lot, nodular stuff, everything like that. Here's something that's spalled. What I want to talk about, a couple of aspects of it. First of all, you know, a lot of people don't live close to rock and they order their rock through the mail or whatever. I never prefer to do that because I like to hand pick individual pieces. The reason for that is because there's a world of difference between individual pieces of rock with how well things are going to turn out. First thing, of course, you have is flaws, cracks, issues with an individual rock. Um, but you also have the shapes, and most rock gets sold by the pound. Well, that really is sort of misleading because some rock is sold by the length. Well, the length of this particular rock isn't necessarily a very good metric in that you may not be able to use all the length, or the width especially. A lot of times when you buy rock, it's way wider than the finished point you're going to have. And so most of your waste comes from reducing extra width off of it to keep the length, or vice versa, one or the other. But another thing is, you have with spalled material, you get things like big concavities. You get stuff like this where you get bowed material and stuff where you automatically have to lose a certain amount of length just to straighten this thing. I mean, the point that comes out of this thing isn't nearly as long as the spall itself. So those are all considerations. Sometimes you got material changes, like in this particular spall, you can see it's extremely chalky down near this end. So sometimes you'll have pretty good flint in an area that's not nearly as large as the whole spall, but you're buying it by the pound or whatever. So here it looks like the material in here might be okay, but not so sure about this, and definitely not sure about that. And then you got this kind of stuff, bargain basement stuff. It takes an expert to get a point out of this at all, because most people will mishandle this and break it. But it already has extreme stress that's been put on it from previous activity in the spalling. You see the tears and stress marks on it, and you got a big concavity and a bend there, so your thin area is right in there. So you've got to get everything squared away, remove a bunch of weight off of here. You've got a crack here and damage and everything without breaking it in here. That's why I say it's kind of tricky. Square edge, not much width, some inclusions. So, you know, but a key thing too to think about is what heat has been put on this, and was it put on it right? So the fact that this is Keokuk, you know, is somewhat meaningless. I mean, it gives you a general idea of what the material's properties might be like, but depending upon who got it, how they heated it, how they spalled it, etc., it may be way different from somebody else's Keokuk, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so anyway, actually, I think I want to hit this other thing. I think I want to hit this thing and show you something. This is, this looks like Burlington. Might be Keokuk. It doesn't have much color to it. I hope it's not raw. Probably not. I was going to show you, you know, it's bowed like this, so you got to get that off. Well, you know you're going to have to take some stuff off this side, and you know it doesn't do real well to hit on the cortex. So what I like to do is raise the edges more than necessary, a little bit, and then just flip it and hit on the spot above the cortex. But if you do it too soon, you're still going to be going into convexity here and not get. What you'd like to do is take some seriously good shots that do quite a bit of good at one time. And you're going to lose a lot of this. See what'll happen, a lot of people will start trying to save all of this. And they want to save all the length, and they want to save as much width as possible. And in doing so, they suffer the death of 1,000 cuts. It doesn't work. The best thing to do is set up some major strikes, lose whatever you got to lose, set up some major strikes, and then get after it and, you know, make it rain. Cortex has porosity, and it's always squirrely to hit on cortex, and you will frequently have it lip off on you like that. I'm kind of fatalistic about it, because the way I look at it is, if it's going to lip off on me like that, go ahead and do it, because I don't want to deal with it later. Just have it come off. I don't have a lot of energy today. Okay, bulb. Usually damaged in there. Don't wait till the last minute to get rid of bulb. It's going to have damage. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing. Turning that down and get rid of the bulb. Step up one. All I'm going to do is try and cut a flake right through there. And raise it. It was too low to keep going. Do a little flake in there, and I got a crack right in there, so I'm going to angle this and kind of hit it that direction. Trying to get rid of that crack. And raise it up a little bit. You know, you got a big square edge there. Trying. Start working on that. This is gonna not try to do too much, because again, you know, I'm hitting downward into a low area. So I would like to have it feather. You know, don't go too far with it. Okay, the edge blew up. Didn't prepare the edge enough. And that's what happens. So always suspect that when you're when you get those hinges, if you know your angles, then it probably wasn't your angle. What happened there? Show of hands. Okay, you in the third row. What happened there? What happened there was that this is cortex. So this edge is, the only thing you can do with this edge is hit down on it if you've got enough of an angle to make it run and catch it above that. Because if you hit on it, it's just weak. And you can see that hit right at the edge of the cortex, and it just failed. The problem with this is, this whole rock is chalky. Yeah, there's some silica in it. Yeah, you can get a point out of it. But you got to be about twice as good sometimes to get a point out of this as you would out of a great piece of flint. Because everything about it's trickier. Doesn't have the strength. Doesn't have the properties. See what that did? Y'all seen me hit. You know what that hit would do on another rock. I didn't hit it gently. Okay, now that's abraded a little more. Let's see what happens to this hit. Look at that material. Does that suck or not? All right. I think what this may be, and I don't know, but I have, in my younger, more errant youth, I'm lying. I've only been napping 5 years. I would go to nap-ins, and sometimes I might foolishly buy out somebody as they were getting ready to leave and didn't want to haul their crap back. And that could have been what happened on this deal. I have no way of knowing because I've just got a bunch of rock and I haven't kept notes on it. Okay. I'm changing tunes for a minute here. See how that's not doing anything? Because I'm hitting cortex. It's like hitting marshmallow. You hear people talk about beginner rock sometimes. That's always kind of pissed me off. There's sort of a concept that, oh, well, you know, crummy rock is for beginners because they'll just mess up good rock. Well, I don't look at it that way, because if the beginner quits napping because they're hitting crummy rock and frustrated by it, then who wins? Nobody. So, you know, I say to anybody selling beginner rock, keep that and work it yourself and give them decent rock. And yeah, you'll ruin it. I mean, I did. I went through a bunch of rock, but I almost ruined my arm working crummy rock. Bull rock. People talk about work glass. Well, I guess if you just like blood and like fishing around for half an hour trying to find a little clear shard in your finger. You want to work something really brittle. Get you some black obsidian. That way at least you can find it in you. Man, I need to go to Hammerstone. This is terrible. It's like hitting a big old rock marshmallow. Wonder if that's got any strength to hit. Probably doesn't. Try it anyway. Nope. Something I've been wanting to tell you. On your support. What I did right there, hitting that like I did, that will in many cases cause somebody to end up with two pieces in their hand. When you see me hit on the long axis of a rock, what I'm usually doing is I'm shoving it in the back of my hand, and I'm maybe supporting a little bit up by the end of the thing, but I am really gentle. It's like I'm holding an egg everywhere else. I may have my fingers on something to prevent vibration or something, but I do not squeeze at all. None. Like right on these kind of things too. I'm touching underneath there, but I'm not squeezing. Because if you squeeze it and you hit, you end up with a folded piece. Where's my dang hammerstones, y'all? Okay, who's been in here eating my hammerstones? This one's too big. I don't like this. It's not hard enough. Oh, here's one. I don't know if it's hard enough or not. You know, the other thing about picking your own rock, you can try and pick rock that doesn't have 1.5 miles worth of soft cortex on it. Y'all believe in this? How many times have I hit this thing? And see what it did? Yeah. Who should I be mad at over this? Probably me for getting this rock. I'll just pretend somebody gave it to me. By the way, if you're one of the people out there in the world that ever runs across me, don't give me your worst rock. I don't know how many times people have thought that they can get themselves a couple of hours of amusement by coming up and handing me a horrible rock and sit there and watch me fight it. Better than cable TV. Not anymore. I am retired from working bad rock. I will never hit a bad rock again. Ah, look. There's a little bit of meat in that chalk. See it? See it? There's meat in there. That was for people that were wondering what happened. What happened is I accidentally hit a piece of the semi-flint, the pseudo-flint, pseudo-chert, silicified chalk. By the way, normally you see me doing most of my work with this bopper, and suddenly I'm using this bopper. And you might wonder how I decide, and it ain't eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And I don't flip a quarter. I use quarters for notching. This bopper is when I have material that will run best if I hit it and deliver energy slowly into it. I step down sometimes, not for greater accuracy, because I can hit a gnat's butt with this too, but because I want to elevate the speed somewhat to get flakes to go, getting rid of square edge, that otherwise wouldn't want to go. We're going to backhand this one. Chalk, ain't no rock in there. I get that chalk off, but see, if you don't get it turned up enough, it just, you know, you can come down and hit it, but then you need to turn it back up and get it, because we're still, you know, we got a balance issue that we're trying to address here. So I keep flaring these edges up, trying to hit across here, and then hit inward on these ends and stuff to get that thing from bowed to straight. I'm holding this off here, showing it to you like you're looking over there. It's been 18 minutes. I'll be right back.